Be'ezras Hashem, catching up a little bit. We are at the very bottom of Daled Amud Aleph. Moving on to Daled Amud Beis. Sorry, moving on to Hey Amud Aleph. The Gemara has quoted a machlokas between Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish, with regards to what the origin is, the source is for the Prush of the Kohen Gadol, and within that there is a conversation of how they match up with the opinions of a previous machlokas of kol kosav bahem ma'akev bahem with regards to miluim. What exactly is this machlokas about? So we're going to see what the nafkaminas are in a couple of moments. But the end of Daled Amud Beis, the Gemara had told us mitkamar lei Rabbi Shimon Lakish Rabbi Yochanan ima miluim kol kosav bahem ma'akev bahem v'lo mahadr lei v'lo midi. From the fact that Rabbi Yochanan was challenged by Rish Lakish with regards to the idea of Kol HaKosav Ma'akev Bahem by the Miluim, and he did not say that's not my opinion, you see that it is his opinion. Rabbi Yochanan does hold Kol HaKosav Bahem Ma'akev Bahem. It's his time, and that was conclusive. Now the Gemara wants to find out, well, what exactly is this this discussion of Kol HaKosav Bahem Ma'akev Bahem by the Miluim? And we are going to see four possibilities. Machlokas Nachronim, whether these are all agreeing with each other or they are all trying to offer a different perspective that is in some way disagreeing with each other. But Pshat in the Gemara, Pshat Pashat, is that these are all four things that are simultaneously true, and we're going to see all of them happening concurrently. My B'nai, last two words of the daf of Daled Amud Beis. What is the nafkamina? What's the difference between these two opinions, Kol HaKosav Bahem Ma'akev Bahem or not? What's the difference? Amar Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef says smicha ika b'nai, that there is nafkamina with regards to smicha. Smicha is when the person after the carbon puts his hands on the carbon to do smicha. Lamanda Amar Kol HaKosav Bahem Ma'akev Bahem, according to the opinion that holds that everything that is written about them, about the days of the Miluim, Ma'akev Bahem, is going to be Ma'akev in them. So Smicha Ma'akva, then Smicha would be Ma'akev. Lemanda Amar Davar She'ein Ma'akev L'Daris Ein Ma'akev Bahem, according to the opinion that says that anything that's not Ma'akev in all future generations would not have been Ma'akev by the days of Miluim, backtracking to the days of Miluim. So Ein Ma'akev Bahem, Smicha Loi Ma'akva, then Smicha would not have been required, meaning you should do it, but it was not required. What does that mean? So we're going to see what that means in a moment, but we're going to see in all four of these explanations, what it means is that something that in all future generations is not a necessary requirement. It means that even though it was mentioned in the days of the Miluim, that was not necessary then either. It's obligatory, but it's not necessary in that if you didn't do it, you would not have been yotze. Meaning, in our language today, we would say that this is a difference between a lechatchila and a b'diavad. According to the opinion that says kol HaKosav Bahem Ma'akev Bahem, it's not even that you're yotze b'diavad. It wouldn't have worked. It doesn't. It might work now, but it wouldn't have worked then. And according to the opinion that says kol HaKosav Bahem Ein Ma'akev Bahem, it means that something that b'diavad today would you'd be yotze b'diavad then as well. And in each of these four explanations, the Gemara is going to ask, well, how do you know that it's not ma'akev now? Meaning that you'd be yotze b'diavad now. Says the Gemara with regards to Michal Daris minalon deloy ma'akva. How do you know that it's not ma'akev? How do you know that it doesn't hold you back today? The Tanya, because the Brisa tells us v'samach. The Brisa tells us v'samach. The beginning of Sefer Vayikra v'samach v'nirtza. The pasuk says v'samach yadoya alav. He's going to put his hands on him v'nirtza l'chaber alav, and he's going to. It's going to be desirable in front of Hashem for him to atone for him. V'chi smicha mechaperes, says the Gemara. The Brisa does smicha achieve the kapara? It's not the smicha that achieves the kapara. V'ala ein kapara al badam. The kapara is only once the blood is offered on the mizbech. Shneimar, as the pasuk says, ki adam hu b'nefesh yechaber. that with the blood the soul will be atoned. So why does it say v'samach v'nirsa? So how does the smicha have anything to do with kapara? Mitzvah. If you treated the smicha as the leftovers of the mitzvah, meaning not important, it's the Torah considers as if you didn't get atonement, but you actually did. Meaning you did it, but you didn't do it great. You yotze, but it's a yotze b'diavad. So that is answer number one. Rav Nachman Yitzchak says, the waving is the waving part of the korban. That's the machlokas. Meaning that would be the nafkamina. According to the opinion that holds everything written in them, holds back even b'diavad. Ma'akva, then if you didn't do the tenufa in the days of the miluim, then it would be ma'akev. Anything that's not for all future generations would not have held back. Then the tenufa would not have been necessary then either. And since when do you know that tenufa is not necessary in all future generations? The Tanya, we have a brayso tenufa lechaper. The pasuk says, there's a correlation between tenufa and kapara. The tenufa, the waving of the korban, that's the thing that achieves kapara. No, the kapara only happens as a result of the blood being put on the mizbeach. With blood, the nefesh is going to be a ton. And then why do you have a pasuk that tells you that tenufa is mechaper? Right? Meaning you still have to answer the question. It's not the din, so why does the pasuk seem like it is? Because if you treated the tenufa like it was like an afterthought, so then it's as if you didn't get the tenufa. If you didn't do the tenufa, it's as if you didn't get kapara, but you did get kapara. It did. It still worked for you. Rav Papa says Parisha Shiva Igabinah. The 7 days of sequestration, of separation. That's the nafkamina. According to the opinion that says then not having the kohen separate for 7 days would be ma'akev. He wouldn't be able to do the avodah. And according to the opinion that says that it's not required for all future generations, to not be ma'akev. It's not going to help. It's not going to hold back. How do you know that in all future generations is not going to be ma'akev? Because this is what we mentioned before. Our Mishnah, when differentiating between the kohen and the stand-in kohen, the kohen that's going to take the job in case something happens to the first kohen. So the Mishnah, our Mishnah at the beginning of Yoma, it says mafrishin kohen gadol. You separate him, and maskinin loy, and you prepare a second-hand guy. But that guy doesn't need prisha. He doesn't need to be separated for 7 days. So it doesn't say mafrishin by that guy because it's not ma'akev l'daris. Ravina says ribu shiva meshicha shiva ikbirayim. That the thing that is differentiating is ribu shiva meshicha shiva. Do you need to wear the additional clothes of the kohen gadol for all 7 days, and do you need to be anointed for all 7 days? That would be the nafkamina. According to the opinion that says it would be ma'akev in the days of miluim. And according to the opinion that says that it is not that things that are not required for all future generations wouldn't have been ma'akev then it wouldn't have been ma'akev then. And then the Gemara asks again, how do you know that it's not ma'akev for all future generations? The Tanya, because the Brisa says, that the kohen that was anointed, that stands, that fills his hands, literally, that takes the role, to take over after his father. What does the pasuk mean? Meaning that the inherent question is, you know that it has to be by kohen gadol. So we know the kohen gadol comes after the kohen gadol that came before him. So lefisha nemar, because the pasuk says shivas yamim yilbasham kohen tachtav min panav, pasuk in Parshas Tetzaveh, that for 7 days the kohen that is in his place should wear his clothes. Ein li ela nizra b'shiva. I only know that a Kohen has to, in order to become the Kohen Gadol, has to wear the Merubah Begadim, the additional 4 golden garments. He has to wear those for 7 days. V'nimshach Shiva. And what does V'nimshach Shiva mean? That he's anointed for 7 days. Nizrabe Shiva. But what happens if he only put on the clothes for 7 days? V'nimshach Yom Echad, and he only had the oil put in for 1 day. Or Nizrabe Yom Echad, that he wore the clothes for 1 day. V'nimshach Shiva, and he had oil put in him for 7 days. Minayin, how do you know that he's still going to be the Kohen Gadol? Talmud Laimar, the pasuk says, Asher yimshach aseh v'asher yimaleh yadai mikol makom. The pasuk that says Asher yimshach aseh v'asher yimaleh yadai, that pasuk in Vayikra Tes Zayin, that pasuk is going to tell me that he's going to be the Kohen even if he doesn't have 7 days of Ribui Begadim and Mishich B'Shem HaMishcha. Even if he has only one of them, that would be good enough. Says the Gemara, Ashechan Ribui Shiva Lechatchila. We found that there's a din Lechatchila, that he has to wear the additional clothing for 7 days. Mishicha Shiva Lechatchila Minala. How do you know that he has to have Mishicha Shiva, that he has to have oil put in him for 7 days Lechatchila? If you want to say from the fact that the pasuk needed to exclude it, meaning the pasuk says so why does it say that? So you could say from the fact that the pasuk mentioned it later on, meaning as an exclusionary clause, so that would now tell you that it is lechatchila you should have it. Alternatively, the pasuk says, "Ubigdei kodesh asher la'aharon yulevanav acharav lemoshcha bahem ulemalei bam es yadam." The pasuk in Tetzaveh that the big day kodesh asher la'aharon, the special clothes that are belong to Aaron, yulevanav acharav, should be for his children of them lemoshcha bahem, to be anointed in them, ulemalei bam es yadam, and to fill their role through them. Itkish Mishicha L'Ribu. You see that there is a juxtaposition, a comparison between Mishicha and Ribu, that you put in the clothes in order to be, in order to have the oil put in you. My Ribu Shiva, just like the additional clothing is all 7 days lechatchila. Af Mishicha Shiva, so too the oil is also all 7 days lechatchila. And we'll see the next 2 lines here. This is my time demand Amar Kol HaKos B'Ma'akev B'hem. What is the rationale? What's the reason that you would say Kol HaKos B'Hem Ma'akev B'hem? Why would you hold of this of this principle? Which is the opinion of Rabbi Yochanan. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Bisna says, Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Bisna, Amar Kol, the pasuk says, V'asisela Aaron Levanov Kacha. You should do for Aaron and his sons like this. Kacha, like this, ikubahu. That means it has to be like this and not in any other way. It has to be like this in general. The Gemara is then going to ask, and we'll turn over the page. Teinach, it makes sense. Good. Kol milsa dichsiva b'hai inyana. Kol milsa dichsiva b'hai inyana. Milsa dichsiva b'hai inyana minala. How do you know that all the things that that were written, that were not written with regards to this are also going to be relevant? And Be'ez Hashem Yisbarach, we will continue with Hayam and Beis and this kasha in the next shir. Wishing everybody a wonderful day. Be'ez Hashem, we will see you later.